Hello, everyone. This is Mr. Grogan. And what we're going to be doing today is that you're going to be working on an assignment on rental agreements. All right. One of the things that we've covered up to this point over the last month or so is that we've covered basic things about credit cards, opening up bank accounts, and credit scores. And one of the things about credit scores and credit reports is that one of the parties that tends to look at a credit report or check your credit score um, are landlords, prospective landlords. All right. If you are going out looking for an apartment to rent, all right, there are a few things that you do need to consider. All right. One of which is that you need to have a very good credit rating in order to get an apartment. Um, and by as long as you're making, if you have a prior credit history, as long as you've shown that you've been able to make your credit card payments on time, or um, any other bills that you have that you've been able to make those payments on time and you're not missing payments, that will result in a good credit score. And most landlords, as long as you have decent credit, will and as long as you're able to provide that you have a job and you have regular income coming in, they will allow you to rent an apartment. All right. One of the things that you will have to do in order to rent an apartment is sign what is called a rental agreement. And usually most rental agreements are only a couple of pages long. All right. And the assignment that you're going to be doing, there'll be two attachments with it. One will have just a sample rental agreement, and the other attachment will have questions that will come from the rental agreement. All right, this is a relatively easy assignment to do. However, this is something that all of you will, if you ever get around to renting an apartment or renting a condominium or even renting a house, you will have to sign some sort of rental agreement. All right, and some of the things that you want to be aware of when it comes to a rental agreement is that when you're renting an apartment or a condo or even a house, um, usually you want to find something that you will sit. If you're looking for a place to rent, obviously the thing that you want to be most concerned about is how much it's going to cost per month. Okay, the lower the better. All right. Obviously, if you find like a 3-bedroom apartment that's only you only need to get that you can rent for only $400 or $500 a month. I mean, that's all well and good, but a 3-bedroom apartment that's 500 a month is very, very low, and usually that means that there's something wrong. In a lot of cases, whether it's in a really bad neighborhood or if it's the building is run down or maybe even not up to code, or could be some other issues going on. In like a high crime neighborhood or right next to a landfill or something like that. It's but obviously you want to make sure that you find the best possible deal. You want to make sure you consider the neighborhood that it's in. If you have a job, like how far you have to go to and from work. How close it is to other things. There's a lot of things that go into renting an apartment. All right. When you're the price of the apartment, or whether it's a condo or whatever, it's obviously the biggest thing. However, there are also other things that you have to consider besides the price with an apartment. All right. The other thing is that you want to make sure like what things are covered with the apartment. All right. Some places will cover the heating costs of the apartment. Not many, but some. All right. Because most places you will have to pay for heating on top of how much it is per month, as well as electricity, maybe even water. Okay. The heat is the biggest thing. All right. Because during the winter months, it gets cold, and you want to make sure that, if you have to pay for your heat, you want to make sure that you conserve heat during the winter time. Obviously, when it gets to like 2 degrees outside, you'll need the heat on. All right. So you want to make sure that you don't leave the heat on when it's 60 degrees outside. All right. Because that means it's going to cost you a lot of money in the long run. All right. So you got to make sure that you budget for heating if you have to pay for heat per month. Obviously, even though you're not going to be using the heat between the months of May and October, you will be using it November, December, January, February, probably March. So And the heating costs can be quite expensive if it's a cold winter. Electricity is not as much, but still, you want to make sure you conserve your electricity, because if you have to pay for electricity, you're looking at, 50, $60 a month on that. All right. And more, it could be significantly more if you have an air conditioner. All right. Water doesn't cost that much. All right. But really, if you can find a place that covers either the electricity and or the heat, that would be a bargain. Okay. So that's something you want to keep in mind. All right. But you do have to sign a rental agreement. All right. And you want to make sure that you read that rental agreement before you sign it. Okay. So you want to make sure this is a sample one. All right. Most rental agreements are only a couple pages long. Obviously, if you're renting a house, like a larger property, you're going to have a rental agreement that's going to be maybe even a little bit longer than 2 pages. But for an apartment, most cases it's only going to be 2 or 3 pages. Okay. So, when you get this assignment, make sure that you read through the sample rental agreement. Yeah, it's only a couple pages long. Okay. And then you're going to get to the other attachment that's going to be with this will be a rental agreement assignment. Okay. And what you want to do is that you want to review the rental agreement first, and then use that to answer these questions. There's 10 of them, all right? And all of the answers, you just have to look at the rental agreement in order to fill it out, okay? Once you're done with it, make sure that you submit it to me, all right? It is a relatively easy assignment. It's one that won't take you that long to do, all right? The purpose of it, again, is that many of you, when you get out into after high school, some of you may be looking to rent an apartment sometime in the next year. For those who are seniors, some of you may look to get your own apartment within the next year. I have had some people have been able to go into a situation where they were able to rent their own apartment when they were still in high school. So I have had a couple of students in the past that have had their own apartment when they were seniors in high school. So for those who are not seniors, a situation where you may have to rent your own apartment may come before you even graduate high school. So, so it is something that, even if you still live at home with your parents or guardian, renting your own apartment will be something that some of you will have to do maybe sometime in the next couple of years, or maybe even within the next 6 months. So, so the key thing from this is that when you're renting an apartment, or also, or whether you're renting a condo or even a house, you will have to sign a rental agreement. All right. You want to make sure you read through the fine print, and in regard to this assignment, you want to make sure that you read the attachment on the rental agreement attachment. It's a sample one, and then answer the questions on the second attachment. You'll find the answers the answers to all these questions you'll find in the sample rental agreement. And if you have any questions on it, feel free to email me or look me up on Zoom chat. All right. Thank you very much.